Namaste and a warm, very pleasing good evening to all of you, to all the lovely ladies, to the guests, to the organizers of this very esteemed and an important event, which is celebrating the women entrepreneurs across the country, the Nari Shakti of our country, हमारे देश की नारी शक्ति जो अपनी टैलेंट से, अपनी प्रतिभा से, अपने साहस से, अपने करेज और इनोवेशन से एक नए मकाम को हासिल कर रही हैं और दूसरों के लिए भी इंस्पिरेशन बन रही हैं. I think to begin with, I would like to congratulate all of you who are going to be felicitated and all of you who are making strides in your life in achieving what you actually aspire for. A huge round of applause for all of you. Few days back, we all celebrated the International Women's Day on 8th of March. And we all have been seeing how across the country from different blocks, districts, at the state level, national level, we had series of events which were celebrating the Nari Shakti, and it was a kind of a reformation, it was kind of a reminder to all of us that yes, we still need to work a lot when we talk about gender parity, when we talk about inclusion in the society. And this year's the theme has been Inspire Inclusion, accelerate growth through the financial empowerment of the women. And when we talk about financial empowerment, that is most important and that is most crucial. And it is therefore platforms like these, the Jagran media, the Har Zindagi. I've also had an association with Har Zindagi when they featured my story, I think few months or a year or so back. So all these kind of initiatives are truly a welcome step because they not only act as an inspiration or as a motivator to the person who is getting felicitated, but also they act as an inspiration to all those who are reading about it. The power of social media. One lady, I think Diksha ji, who was actually telling about, she was sharing about the power of Instagram, how she is using the Instagram. I am also using my social media platforms, which is now close to almost 2.2 million. And that is like from last few years, I have been using the tool of social media to share the positivity in the society. Coming from a background, if I talk a bit about my journey, so I have had my parents, my family based in Panipat district, Haryana. And I'm sure you must all have heard about Haryana being a patriarchy-dominated mindset society. So my journey into civil services has been quite different. I was not a student who had a dream starting from the school days that yes, I want to become an IAS officer. No, it was not like that. It was very late. Almost when I was doing my graduation, I was about to complete my graduation from Shriram College of Commerce, and I was also doing my CS. It was at that time that I read about civil services in one of the college magazines. And it actually gave a kick to me from inside, and I kind of thought that I should try to be in civil services. But then when I discussed this with my family, with my parents, initially nobody agreed. Because the first and foremost question which came to their mind was that what is the need of you going into civil services? Why is that required? And then the other thing which always comes to the mind is that this is always very uncertain, because if we see the statistics, it is like 10 lakh plus aspirants fill the prelims form and the selection is in few hundreds. So there is no surety, there is no guarantee, and then I already got my placement in my third year in 2 very good MNCs through my college placement cell. So this discussion debate went on for almost 5-6 months. It took me some time to convince my parents, my family. Then my father said, okay, if you want to do, we will not hold you back, we will support you. But he also suggested that I should have a fallback career option. So having a fallback career option, he mentioned that if you are not able to clear civil services even after investing 2-3 years of your prime, of your youth, then what you should be doing, there should be a kind of a roadmap in your mind. There should be some idea. So I well accepted his advice. My graduation was complete. In 2004, my CS was also complete. In the same year, I appeared for my LLB entrance from Delhi University because somehow I thought that if I'm not able to clear civil services, then CS LLB would be a good combination for me being entering into the corporate sector. So I started my law. I also started my job part-time, on a part-time basis as a company secretary because I wanted to earn and finance my higher studies and also to get some professional experience. And then, of course, my aim and my passion of being into civil services, that studies I started. So primarily from 2004 to 2007, these three things were moving parallel in my life. My focus was on civil services preparation. I was doing law, regular course classes to be attended. I was also doing my job on a part-time basis. So things were not easy. I appeared for my first attempt in 2006. I reached up to the second stage, but unfortunately, I did not get my interview call. So basically, that was a first failure that I had in my academic professional life. So, of course, I was demotivated because that was a kind of a challenge which I had taken to my own self. Nobody had forced me to even attempt for this. So I was demotivated, depressed, uncertain, apprehensive. So I took a break for a few days and then I gave a commitment to my own self that yes, now whenever, whatever chance is available to me, the second attempt should be my best attempt. And I should not have any repentance that I did not give my best. So then I learned where I felt why didn't I score good marks? And I tried to work on removing my lacunas. And it was in my second attempt, I appeared in 2007 and my final results were announced in 2008, May 2008. And in my batch, I got selected, I got All India rank 13th in UPSC Civil Services. And then, thank you. That was probably not read in the introduction. So, anyways, so we have so many inspirational women to talk about. So I joined civil services after my cadre allocation. I went to Tripura. I was allotted to Manipur Tripura cadre. And frankly, initially I had a lot of apprehensions because I had always stayed in this part of India, Delhi, Haryana. And I never even traveled that far. So things were not easy, and especially I had always been in a conservative, a kind of a protective environment. So things were not that, mentally I was not that happy. So then, but then when I went there, so I also gave a challenge that yes, I am in this service because of my own passion, because of my own will. And yes, this is an opportunity which has been given to me, and this may be a godsend opportunity. And I will utilize it to my maximum benefit to serve the people, to serve the country, the aim with which I appeared for my civil services examination. So I started touring, and it was a kind of so much welcoming reception that I received from the people and people of Tripura. It's a very beautiful state in the northeastern part. And we have a mix of Bengali population and the tribal population. Majority speaks the Bengali, so I learned Bengali to communicate effectively, to reach out to the people. And I started touring. So there were initial days of my postings were in field in the tribal areas. And there was a subdivision called Ambasa, which was my first posting as SDM Ambasa. And therein I actually saw that there are still, at that time, 2010, way back in 2010, so there were still few areas which were not connected properly by roads. So to reach to those tribal hamlets, one has to walk to 7, 8, 10 kilometers. So I made it a point that my all administrative camps as an SDM would be only in those remote locations. So when we started touring, we actually saw that the health, Anganwadi center, the education sector, the school, they are not functioning well. Why? Because of the lack of connectivity. And the people are not able to reach the officers who are posted. They are not able to commute daily. So what we did was a very small experiment of the power of collaboration. And we collaborated with the local BSF. Tripura has a very good presence of BSF, having the longest border in the country with Bangladesh. So we approached the BSF commandants and we requested them that you please give us the place for accommodation for making our official stay on a weekly, like Monday to Friday kind of a thing, and then they would go back on weekends to their family and then come back again on Monday. So we requested, they accepted, and then it was a kind of a very small experiment, but it actually helped because the officers who were posted, they were given accommodation, they were given all kind of system to stay, and after a gap of few months when we had our reviews and reassessments, so we actually saw that yes, there is a great deal of difference in the way these were functioning earlier. Of course, there were proposals for the construction of roads, etc. That was there, but we knew that road construction would take time. So what immediate solution we could do is that, and that was actually very, very successful, and then we implemented in many such paras. In local parlance, we term them as paras. So it was done in many such locations. And after that, I moved in Tripura in my capacities as the collector, as commissioner of the corporation. I moved to Haryana as on intercadre deputation for 4 years. I worked here. And here also, I was generally in field as collector and commissioner. And when we talk about the cause of women, the cause of gender, the cause of parity, equality in society, that has been always very, very special, and it is always very close to my heart. Why? Primarily, firstly, because as a woman, as a female, I have also felt that yes, there is a need to improvise. I have myself experienced so many things, even as part of administration, like officer, as an IAS officer, as a female IAS officer. People also ask me that, do you feel whether there is any discrimination or the society is equal or the administrative systems are equal? So I always respond to them that yes, even till today, the society is not equal. And women have to keep proving themselves. There is always a kind of a paraphernalia which will be kind of doubting you, and you will have to keep proving your intention. You have to keep proving that yes, you are committed. And what so happens with us as a woman, it is not only in civil services, it is also in every profession, even for a housewife, that when you want to aspire to do something for your own self or to excel in your career, your family responsibilities would also increase. You are getting married, you are giving birth to a child, you are becoming a mother. So there are some mandatory responsibilities which are given to a woman by nature, by the reproductive system. So that how we balance, there lies the beauty. Because it should not act as an impediment. Of course, there are some provisions of taking medical leaves, taking child care leaves, taking maternity leave. But I certainly feel that they are not sufficient. There needs to be a lot more support as far as the male counterpart is concerned. It is also important that the male counterparts in our families, they also understand. And now the situation is changing in a very positive way. Now we are seeing how in the working couples, the males are also like, they are taking responsibility at the domestic front, taking part in the children's course, in their school things, and also even me as an officer, I always feel that two men have been very important in my life. My father, whom we lost last year on the day of Dussehra, he battled for cancer for almost 2 years. But he was the one who actually gave me the confidence, he gave me the wings to fly. He actually, he never held me back. He always was there. Whenever I wanted to do something, he was the one. सोसाइटी में, फैमिली में कोई कुछ भी बोले, जब मैंने पढ़ाई भी अपनी सिविल सर्विसेज की कर रही थी, तो उस टाइम में भी क्योंकि मेरे जो कज़न्स थे उनकी जनरली उनको ग्रेजुएशन तक पढ़ा के, फीमेल कज़न्स को पढ़ा के ग्रेजुएशन तक उनकी शादी कर दी जा रही थी. तो सिमिलर वॉज अ रियलिटी एक्सपेक्टेड फॉर मी. बट देन माई फादर सेड, बिकॉज देयर वॉज क्रिटिसिज्म ऑल्सो फ्रॉम द रिलेटिव्स, बोलते थे कि आप इतना क्यों पढ़ा रहे हो, ग्रेजुएशन हो गई है, सीएस हो गई है, इसकी शादी कर देनी चाहिए, सिविल सर्विसेज के लिए घर में क्यों बिठा के रखा है, वो तो शादी के बाद तैयारी करके भी दे सकती है, अगर उसका किस्मत में लिखा होगा तो सिलेक्शन ज़रूर हो जाएगा. बट देन माई फादर सेड कि नो, दिस इज़ हर राइट, एंड ये एजुकेशन एक ऐसा राइट है जो मेल और फीमेल दोनों बच्चों को हमें देना चाहिए. And when I qualified, then those were the people who actually congratulated my parents, मेरे father को, कि we knew that she has been a brilliant student and she has made us all proud. So, you know, there are some people in your life who would always be with you. And of course, my father, my mother, and now my husband. So, मुझे मेरे father ने ये हौसला दिया, ये confidence दिया कि मैं दूर नॉर्थ ईस्ट में जाके भी जो मैं चाहती थी, मैंने कोशिश की मैं वो काम कर पाऊँ. और आज मेरे हस्बैंड हैं जो कि मुझे मेरे ज़िंदगी के हर पड़ाव पे मेरे साथ में हैं. एंड ही एक्चुअली सपोर्ट्स एंड ही हैज़ एक्चुअली नर्चर्ड मी एज एन इंडिविजुअल. एंड जो भी मैं करना चाहती हूँ, he always encourages me, and I am so blessed to have him. And also I have my 2 kids who are also very supportive, very understanding. And I think this is what is required in our family, in our society, that we have to nurture each other. And it is also important that we recognize the contribution. हमारी लाइफ में ऐसे बहुत से लोग हैं जो हमारे लिए एक सपोर्ट सिस्टम होते हैं. So we always should have those people in our lives. That is also very important. And for women, I would like to just say that for our journey, for our path to success, our share of struggle would be a bit higher than the male counterpart, still in the Indian society at least, because still we are having many things, whether it is the mindset, हम जो सोच की बात करते हैं, हम जो behavior की बात करते हैं, या जो हम एक कल्चरल नॉर्म की बात करते हैं. झज्जर में मैंने एक कैंपेन हमने चलाया जिसको हमने नाम दिया था सोच पे दस्तक. वाई आई नेम्ड इट एज सोच पे दस्तक वॉज बिकॉज इट वॉज अ नॉक ऑन द माइंड सेट. whatever social ills and whatever social evils we are seeing in the society, which are actually making the women as the victim, whether it is the gender-based violence, whether it is the lack of access of opportunities in terms of education, in terms of, higher education, in terms of training, employment. So one major aspect of that is the education, is the mindset. So we actually need to have more and more discussion on how do we change the behavior of the people, how do we change the mindset. So whenever we are talking about mindset, it is important that we have the male counterpart also to be included in those discussions, in those seminars, so that they should listen. हम जो नारी की चौपाल वहाँ करते थे, तो नारी की चौपाल आई एम श्योर आप सबको पता होगा कि एक उसमें फीमेल्स जो ग्राम सभा में जो महिलाएं हैं, जो पंचायत में सरपंच हैं, महिला पंच मेंबर्स हैं, द एक्टिव विमेन एंड द हाउस होल्ड विमेन, they are encouraged to come and debate and discuss, and they discuss the issues. What we did was that we also encouraged the male in the villages, मेल इन दी ब्लॉक लेवल्स, कि वो भी आके इसका पार्टिसिपेशन उसके अंदर करें और वो भी उसको समझें कि इश्यूज क्या हैं. Because they need to actually understand that yes, this is a problem. If the gender-based violence is being done, it is done by the male. हम बच्चियों को पढ़ाते हैं, लिखाते हैं, लेकिन अगर उनके अगेंस्ट कोई क्राइम होता है तो कहीं ना कहीं वो जो पेरेंट हैं, उनके जो पेरेंट्स हैं, उनके माइंड में एक डाउट आ जाता है. उनके नेबरहुड में अगर कोई इंसिडेंट हो जाए तो कल को कि हमारी बच्ची के साथ भी ऐसा हो सकता है. सो दे बिकम हेजिटेंट टू काइंड ऑफ allow their girl child to move out of their home in the late evenings to go for their coaching institutes. And this is happening even today in the rural part. Few days back, I was in such similar award event organized by some organization which was based in the media. So वहाँ पे श्रीमती आशा देवी को बुलाया गया था. She is the mother of Nirbhaya. We all know about Nirbhaya, and she is the mother, and she is running now a trust called the Nirbhaya Trust. So when she was speaking on the dais, she spoke so much from her heart. It was very overwhelming, and she said one thing, that while we are celebrating the women power, while we are felicitating the women power, we should also understand that आज भी इस वक्त भी हमारे देश में कहीं ना कहीं किसी बच्ची के साथ कोई दुष्कर्म और कोई क्राइम हो रहा होगा. सो वॉट इज़ इम्पॉर्टेंट इज़ कि हम अपनी बच्चियों को तो एजुकेशन संस्कार अच्छे दें ही, साथ में हम अपने घर में जो मेल चाइल्ड है, जो लड़के हैं, जो बॉयज़ हैं, उनको हम ये एजुकेशन ज़रूर दें कि दे हैव टू ट्रीट द फीमेल विद पैरिटी, विद इक्वालिटी, विद इक्वल रिस्पेक्ट. That is very, very important. So here also comes the role of us as sisters, as mothers, कि हमारे घर में भी जो boys हैं, जो young boys हैं, because they are going to be part of the future generation. So it is also important that they are nurtured, they are groomed to treat the women equally. During COVID-19 pandemic, there was a data which was released by the NCRB. At that time, I was posted in Gurugram. So there was a data which was released by NCRB, and that data has showed that the cases under the Domestic Violence Act, the cases reported under the Domestic Violence Act 2005, there was an increase in the number of cases in the last year during the COVID-19 pandemic. So what does it indicate? It actually indicates that the male counterpart is feeling frustrated, and he is probably not missing his social circle, his normal office routine, and he is not getting a way out to vent out his feeling. And therefore, he is subjecting the female counterpart in the family to harassment, to gender-based violence, which is totally unacceptable. And these are recent data, 2022 data. So what we need to do is that we have to keep empowering ourselves, supporting each other, and also have that confidence कि हमारी life में मुश्किलें ज़रूर आएंगी और ज़रूर से ज़्यादा आएंगी. मतलब महिलाओं की लाइफ में जो मुश्किलें हैं वो ज़रूरत से ज़्यादा आएंगी. आज अगर हम सिविल सर्विसेज के आंकड़े देखें तो मैडम अन्ना राजा मल्होत्रा in 1951 she became the first woman ICS officer, and when she was selected there was a caveat in her condition, in her service condition, that if she marries she will have to resign. So that was a service condition put in 1951. Later on it was definitely removed, and she also married to one of her batchmates. Now if we see the result, last year the UPSC civil services results which were announced in 2023, we saw that 34% of the total selection is the woman candidate. That has been the highest till now. If we see the representation of women in parliament, we are now, India is now having the Lok Sabha elections in 7 phases, and we'll have a new parliament in the month of June. So if we talk about the Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam, the Women's Reservation Bill, which is talking about 33% reservation in the parliament, it is totally a welcome step. But what is most important is that the women who are there on the political seat, they are exercising their rights and powers, and they are actually aware of, because आज भी जो गांव में जो सरपंचेज हैं, महिला सरपंचेज हैं, महिला पंच मेंबर्स हैं, उनको पूरी तरीके से अपने अधिकारों के बारे में नहीं पता है. और जो मेल काउंटर पार्ट है उनके फैमिली में, जो सरपंच के जो पति हैं, उनके ससुर हैं, उनके रिलेटिव हैं, उनके ब्रदर हैं, वो हैं जनरली मोर देन I should say 60-70%, they are there who are ruling the show. So what we need to do is, as a society, as a collective society, is that have such initiatives. Jitne bhi I am not aware of like who all have been felicitated, but I am sure you are all doing good work. We also need to concentrate on the rural India, because therein lies the actual problem. Therein अर्बन एरियाज़ में फिर भी एक्सपोजर है, फिर भी अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ हैं, वी हैव गुड एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशंस, बट वी नीड टू हैव मोर फोकस ऑन द रूरल पार्ट. As part of government, we have always tried to do whatever best we can. We have also tried to have the collaboration. So public-private partnerships is something which I always support if I feel that there are some entities who are genuinely going to work for the interest of the people. And वहाँ पे जाके if you work, you will feel that there are many females, many young females who are getting dropouts because of lack of menstrual hygiene, because of lack of school sanitation facilities, because of lack of connectivity to their coaching institutes, so they are not able to complete their education. So if you all, because you are all having that capability, you are all having those resources, and the most important thing is you are all having that genuine intention which is driven by the public spirit. So let us all have that kind of collaboration, have that commitment that yes, महिलाएं जो ग्रामीण आंचल में हैं, जो लड़कियां जो पढ़ना चाहती हैं, जो आगे कुछ करना चाहती हैं, let us have some initiative which supports them, which guides them, which mentors them. And we definitely will have many such women, many such females excelling. We have seen how women in India have been shining in this space when we talk about the Chandrayaan mission, when we talk about the sports, when we talk about women in health, how during COVID-19 pandemic, they as part of the nursing medical fraternity, how they have been proving their mettle. So what we need is to keep supporting them, to keep nurturing them, and to celebrate the women and the Nari Shakti. That is most important. Our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji has been has been always putting this emphasis on Nari Shakti. Our former president, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, he said, I have the opportunity of meeting him once. So sir has said that empowering women is a prerequisite for a empowered nation. So therefore, we all need to emphasize, we all need to nurture, and we all need to contribute towards this cause. The seminars, the conferences like these, the Jagran, which is being organized today, are such a welcome step. My congratulations to the entire team, and may we all keep prospering, keep helping each other. And towards the end, just few lines of the poetry which are just coming to my mind, which are dedicated to Nari Shakti. I would conclude by mentioning about them. कि कोमल है कमजोर नहीं तू, कोमल है कमजोर नहीं तू, शक्ति का नाम ही नारी है. कोमल है कमजोर नहीं तू, शक्ति का नाम ही नारी है. जग को जीवन देने वाली तू सबसे बलशाली है. जग को जीवन देने वाली तू सबसे बलशाली है. So a woman gives birth to a new life. So therefore there is nothing which she cannot do. What is important is that have that courage, have that innovation, have that confidence, self-confidence. Positive self-belief, I think, is the most important. Have that confidence in you, have those dreams and have those spirits always high, and keep giving your efforts. We cannot achieve our success when we don't give efforts, so keep giving your efforts, and let us all keep helping, keep nurturing each other, keep supporting each other. Thank you so much for inviting me at this esteemed audience, esteemed gathering. My congratulations once again to all the women power, to all the Nari Shakti. Thank you so much. Nari Shakti Zindabad. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you so much for sharing your story on our platform. I'm sure it has dared many women to dare big, to dream big in their life and achieve big in their life. I would request Mr. Gaurav Arora, COO of Jagran New Media, to kindly come up on the stage and felicitate Mrs. Sonal Goyal. We would request Mrs. Sonal Goyal to kindly stay back. You can collect the gift hamper and the felicitation certificate as well as bouquet. As we have the next award segment, and we would request Mrs. Sonal Goyal to present these prestigious awards. The first award is Trailblazing Tech Leader Award, and the winner is Mrs. I beg your pardon, Miss Samriddhi Bhattacharya, Director of Small Business, Dell India. Miss Samriddhi Bhattacharya, Director of Small Business, Dell India, Trailblazing Tech Leader Award. Founder of the Year, and the winner is Sonam Srivastav, Right Research. Sonam Srivastav from Right Research, Editor's Choice Investor Women Founder of the Year. Innovative Entrepreneur of the Year, and the award goes to Miss Divya Ranganahalli, Founder and Creator, Media Connect. Miss Divya Ranganahalli, Founder and Creator, Media Connect, for Innovative Entrepreneur of the Year. Congratulations. Congratulations, Ms. Divya. And the next award is Fashion Entrepreneur of the Year. And the winner is Tanushri Bayani from Anar. Tanushri Bayani from Anar, Fashion Entrepreneur of the Year. Congratulations, Tanushri. And this brings us to our next award, which is Beauty Entrepreneur of the Year. And the winner is Ritika Jaiswal from Nourish Mantra. Ritika Jaiswal from Nourish Mantra, Beauty Entrepreneur of the Year. Congratulations to all the winners, and thank you so much, Mrs. Sonal Goyal, for joining us and helping us celebrate the women power today.